Namaskar, Namaskar to all the listeners. Hello everybody, this is Shah Peerally for the Shah Peerally Law Show, and today I have Michael with me on the board. Thank you, Michael, for really being prompt to making things happen. And we're going to take callers today. For a couple of weeks we have not taken callers because we had two guests. First we had Sharif Silmi, attorney for the Shah Peerally Law Group of our Washington DC office, and then we had Masud Jumrati last week, a Canadian immigration lawyer who was speaking about the options of going to Canada. And I have not uploaded this on our YouTube channel yet, but hopefully I'll do that in the next couple of hours, and you can have an idea of what's going on. It's been really hectic. I usually do the uploads myself just to make sure, but it's been really hectic, so I didn't have a chance to do that last week, so I apologize for that. And again, the YouTube channel is youtube.com/Shah Peerally Law, ShahPeerallyLaw. And today we're going to have discussion about immigration, of course, and anything I'm going to tell you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. And the number to the studio is 510, remind me, Michael, it's 510-657-1170, 510-657-1170 if you want to ask any question on immigration. As much as I can, I will try to answer. Otherwise, you can also call us at the office for a consultation, 510-742-5887. But the studio lines will be open in a few minutes. Feel free to call if you have any questions, H-1B, I-140, L-1 visa, O visa, family petitions, parents petitions, visa bulletin, whatever I can answer, I will be glad to answer. Just to let you know, in 2 days it's going to be 10 years anniversary of the Shah Peerally Law Show. It's going to be on July 5th actually, on the Independence Day. Actually, we had our first show 10 years ago, and I really kind of appreciate all our listeners. It's been a while now, and the show has been going on strong, and actually many people have written to us telling us that it has helped them a lot. We had all those episodes of history, like the Arizona laws at that time. Then you had the Tri-Valley University, you name it. All those really kind of help. People will need that. So yeah, Michael's saying we need to have a celebration. Yeah, definitely. But we are in a shelter-in situation, and so many things happening to the world. It's very hard to celebrate. And also, unfortunately, we are seeing a lot of people losing their jobs, Michael, and that's the sad part of it. But our show, hopefully, we will be there to kind of guide you as much as we can on the radio. But if it's not on the radio, you can always call us to have a better to have an understanding of what's going on in your case. So today, one thing, some kind of good news, that asylum law that Trump passed under executive order has been blocked by a federal judge. I don't have the details of it yet, but hopefully that is some good news, because the requirements really was very unfair, and the requirements were very unfair, and they were really not only unfair, they were outrageous, I should put it, as usual. And again, I don't know how much it is a political move. I think it is, but at the end of the day, we will have to wait and see how this is going to affect people. But so far, it has been blocked, so people can still file the asylum. Now let's see if the case goes to the Supreme Court, what will happen. Then we will have to decide what happens next. But one thing I know is we are in really tough times. It's really kind of it's getting really kind of tough out there, and I know a lot of people are calling us to say to ask us about what's going on, and unfortunately there are some solutions what you do if you are in a situation where you're stuck here in the U.S. And also it is important that you make sure that you maintain some kind of, not status, but at least a period of authorized stay. It is very important because many people, they think just because of the situation they have an automatic stay in the U.S. if they lost their job. But once, for example, you're an H-1B, you lose your job, after the 60 days you will fall out of status. So you need to file something, for example, a B-1, B-2, or of course the best is to transfer the H-1B before the 60 days have passed. Now what happens if the 60 days has passed and you were not able to transfer, or you're reaching close to that? So I recommend in those cases to actually file the B1, B2 visa, at least some kind of, just a B1 visa, and at least it will put you in a period of authorized stay while spending. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions on immigration, I mean anything immigration, it can be family petitions, it can be VAWA, it can be U visa, you name it, adjustment of status, feel free to reach out at on the studio lines today, 510-657 1170, 510-657-1170. I will try my best to kind of answer whatever I can. But if you want a private consultation, reach out to us at the office, 510-742-5887. One person actually told me that they don't feel comfortable to call on the radio, and yes, it is. You should be careful not to basically give your name and things like that. Just go ahead and call anonymous, but of course you can tell Michael, but we don't really disclose your name unless you want to do that. But at the end of the day, if you ask a general question, it can benefit others. So feel free to reach out and call the studio line, 510-657-1170, 510-657-1170. And like I said, we are in a situation of, it's a very, very kind of convoluted situation, because most of the clients that I'm getting right now are people who have lost their jobs or who already have a case file, and then suddenly they are seeing the company withdrawing that because they're saying, hey, now they no longer need to actually kind of go forward with the petition. And this is really kind of creating a lot of panic. And all people who are traveling, for example, we have parents traveling to the U.S., getting stuck. What do they do next? Some of them, the children are U.S. citizen. Can they file for a green card? Or those who are, for example, on H-1B, what do they do next? Because if they don't actually take advantage of the situation, it will be they will lose the chance to actually they will basically fall out of status and basically accrue what we call unlawful presence. The problem with unlawful presence, if you accumulate more than 180 days of them, then when it's time to go outside and try to come back, you will be barred for 3 years. And if you accumulate 365 days of unlawful presence, you will be barred for 10 years to enter. Pretty much you won't be able to enter for forever, unfortunately. That's the way the things work. But if you file, for example, a B1, B2, or maybe change to a student visa, and that has its own issues, as long as the case is pending, you will fall into what we call a period of authorized stay, which means you're not accruing unlawful presence, you're not accumulating unlawful presence, which in turn will protect you in the future. So very, very important that you actually understand how the system works and talk to us. We will do a consultation. I know it's been a little bit hectic. Many people have called and say we don't get a time for consultation. Well, I've tried to clear myself as much as I can, but at the same time I have to look over cases. So I do as many consultation I can do a day, and you will be passed for the next day. I try to do them early in the morning or late in the afternoon. Because that also is convenient for the client and also for me once I'm done with my working on my cases, etc. So please feel free to reach out 510-7425887. And today the studio line number is, I was just checking it, 657-510-657-1170. 510-657-1170. And this is Attorney Shah Peerally. We're live today. It's July 2nd, 2020. And like I said earlier, in 3 days it will be our 10th anniversary of the Shah Peerally Law Show. And it's really something that has kind of grown up with us now. That show has been here for 10 years, and we have never really stopped, except I think for the last month when we had the situation of shelter. But that was it, and after that we really got back on track, and thanks to Michael and Radio Zindagi for that. And also, if you want to check our website, you can go on peerallylaw.com, PeerallyLaw.com. So make sure you check that, and also let us know if you want to just do a consultation, get a second opinion. Feel free to reach out. I think we have one person on a caller right now. Go ahead, Michael. Hello.
Hi. Thank you, Shah, for taking my call, and congratulations on your 10th anniversary.
Go ahead. Speak a little bit louder. I can hear you. Okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think thank you for taking my call, and congratulations on your 10-year anniversary. I had a question on the visitor visa part.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom actually visited US in sometime in February, and her I-94 expires in July 31st. We requested for an extension for her I-94 visa, extension of stay, sometime in 45 days before the I-94 expires. And I want to know, till now the decision is pending. So if the decision does not come before her I-94 expires, can she still continue to stay? And if so, what would happen in case if the I-94 the extension request gets denied in future?
Oh, beautiful question, because you have two parts in that. Let me answer it, because this is a very, very frequently asked question. Number one, once you file the case timely, that means before it expires, and while the case is pending, she falls into what we call a period of authorized stay. That means she's authorized to stay as long as a decision is not being made on her case. If the case gets approved, it just continues normal. But if the case gets denied, this is the problem with the visitor visa. If the case gets denied, what it does, it kind of, by operation of law, it cancels the multiple entry visa on the passport. I repeat that. It cancels it, the multiple entry. Let's say, for example, the case gets denied on August 15th, right? So up to August 15th, there was no problem. But suddenly you see a denial. In this case, what it does, it will actually kind of, but it's still at the discretion of the USCIS, it will actually create a situation where she can lose her multiple entry visa on her passport. But with the COVID situation, two things is happening. Number one, I don't think most cases are pending, by the way. And number one is basically because of the situation we have under the COVID problems. There's a big chance it will be approved. But if it doesn't get approved, it stays pending. She's fine. If she leaves the country before there's any kind of denial, she's fine. She keeps the multiple entry visa, B1, B2. But if she gets denied after the date of July 31st, then there is a chance they cancel it. But the good news is that since it's very hard to travel back to India, I'm pretty sure there's a big chance that she will get an approval for the extension. Okay?
I see. Sure. Thank you.
Okay.
So in case if it gets denied, is there any way to request USCIS to give us some time to leave? Because usually you would be out of status from the same day, from the date you get your denial date, right? Denial decision.
Well, technically,
in order to prevent the visa getting invalidated.
Well, for B1, B2, it goes back to the date when the I-94 expired. That's the unfortunate problem. So, in this case, what you can do, you can refile the case under non-prompton. What it is, a non-prompton is they abbreviated as NPT. It means stands on its own. You can try to revive the case even she already is out of status, and explain in this case that there's no way she can travel. She can travel back to what we call. There's no way she can travel back to India. So it is important that you actually kind of make a decision if she needs to go back. But if there's no way to travel back, or it's too dangerous, then just leave it like that and try to refile it as a non-prompton. And if you need help, just give us a call. We'll handle it for you. Okay?
Okay, sure. Thank you, Mr.
Okay. Good luck to you. This is Shah Peerally, you're live on air. Hello? Okay, I think we don't have any other callers. Feel free to call 510-657-1170. 510-657-1170. I took some time to answer the previous caller because we have a very, very kind of, how to put it, it's a very common situation that we are seeing, and unfortunately people don't know what to do, because if they stay and they go ahead and try to basically use the extension and they use it and they get a denial, and the denial happens after the I-94 is expired, it will have an effect on the B1, B2 multiple entry visa on the passport. But if the person leaves before that, or there's an approval, then everything goes perfect. But the good news is I am pretty sure that they won't have a choice. They have to extend it, because most people are not able to travel, especially if someone is elderly. Right now it's too risky to travel. And plus, both India and the US have a high number of cases of COVID-19. So that's the argument I will make. If the case is denied, I will probably refile it, and basically this time involve maybe a Congress person and have the case reopen, and not reopen, but refile it and request based on extraordinary circumstances how basically things should be done. So this is a very interesting question, because we are getting a lot of people in this situation right now. Now, for people who are, for example, on H1 and they lost their job and they are reaching their 60 days, or they have already reached their 60 days, it is important that you understand that people needs to understand that you don't want to stay completely out of status. While filing a B1, B2, for example, doesn't give you status immediately while it's pending, it will at least give you what we call a period of authorized stay, which means you're legal to stay although you're not in status. Then what happens next is, let's say, for example, you get terminated on June 1st, right? You get 60 days, which brings you probably to around August, end of August, right? And you're not finding a job. You're reaching like the 50 days or something like that. I recommend to file that B1, B2 ASAP. Although the rule says 45 days before and all this stuff, you still can file, because this is an extraordinary circumstance. And once you file it, it's there. You at least, after the grace period, you are still somehow not completely unlawfully present. So what it does, it protects you in the future. Now let's say you get a job around September, and at this point you can still file your H1B, but what happens next is that the H1B since you're already out of the grace period, you're technically not eligible for a transfer. What a transfer means is in the section, I think, 105B, it means basically two things. Number one, you're requesting USCIS to move your case, your cap exemption from company A to company B, and number two, you're asking USCIS to take a valid I-94, move it to company A, from company A to company B. But let's say you already passed the grace period. That means that I-94 is no longer valid. You cannot really transfer anymore because you don't have the second part. So in this case, what you do, you can file what we call a new employment cap exempt, and usually it becomes a consular processing. That means after approval, you have to go outside, get a stamp, if you don't have a stamp on your passport, and then you come back. But this is the problem. Most people are not able to travel outside. Number one, there's no stamping. Number one, the COVID situation is creating a lot of risk. Number two, with the ban, you cannot really go for stamping. In this case, what I recommend people to do, and I'm saying I recommend because we don't know yet if it will work, but hopefully it will, you can request USCIS to basically file the as a new employment, cap exempt, and then request a bridge. A bridge means there was a pending case, so you want USCIS to use that and grant you your I-94. The way it works for the bridge is that the pending case has to be approvable or approved before they move forward on the other case, on the H-1B movement of the cap exemption plus getting you an I-94. So in this case, though, the difference is that until it's approved, you cannot start working, and then USCIS can have three outcomes out of it. Number one, it can be denied completely for whatever reason. It doesn't have to be that reason. Number two, the case gets approved the way you want. That means an I-94 is issued. That means it's perfect. You can start working once you get that, and that's one of the reasons in this case you do premium. Or number three, they can bifurcate the case, means cut it into two. They approve the part of moving the cap exemption, which means they give you a 797B, but they don't give you an I-94. And in order to get you back on track, you have to leave the country, get a stamping. If you don't have a stamp on your passport, come back, and at the airport, you will have your I-94. So it is important that you know all this. And if you're having a situation where you're losing your job and you don't know what to do, give us a call. We'll give you a consultation. We'll schedule a consultation, and the number to our office, 510-742-5887. 510-742-5887. And also make sure if you are getting terminated, you quickly have a plan B to work with, because many people are hoping that within 60 days they will get a job, but that's not the case for many. It's not like they're not getting a job, but they are not getting it at the time when they want it to happen. And this is the situation which is causing the problem. A lot of people are confused because what do they do next? Should they go ahead and basically stay in the U.S. or leave? Now, leaving has its own risk. Number one, I don't think there's so many flights going on out there, and also traveling during those COVID times is dangerous. And three, we have the ban, which means basically you will not get a stamp even if you want to. And that's where people are getting confused. What do they do next? Well, this is the important part is to talk to a lawyer. It's imperative in this case, a lawyer who understands how things work and can basically navigate their way through the system. It is very, very important that you talk to us or talk to an experienced attorney how to get this done. And let us know, Michael, if there's any caller. The number to the studio, 510-657-1170. 510-657-1170. I don't know how much time is left. Please let me know. But it is important that you understand what is happening out there. The entire situation is now changed. We are in different times, and of course, it's not like things are going to return to normal soon. It will probably not return to normal for a long time now. Having said that, you need to understand that there are options out there. Many people don't look into options like, for example, you might not get an H-1B, but you might get an O-1 visa, or you might be in a student visa, and you were not really picked up in the lottery, and now with the system you might be able to. It is very, very important that you actually kind of talk to a lawyer to get things going. Don't just give up or just not do anything, because that's dangerous. At least you are proactive. You pretty much preserve. Doesn't mean you're going to get an approval, but at least you did the right thing. And a lot of people don't do that, and that's where things get tricky for them, because they don't really they get confused, and they think that, okay, since I had an H-1B, my I-94 is still good, I can still continue. But that's not true. If you got terminated, that I-94 is no longer there. So it is important that you pretty much kind of make sure that you have all the options kind of analyzed before you make a decision. I think we have one caller, right, Michael? Let me take the caller. Where are you, 11 here? Hello.
Hi, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing well, sir. I'm doing well. What can I do for you?
Sir, I have one question. My niece is visiting from Karachi, Pakistan to USA. And right now she is in Houston. And her visa is going to be expired in the month of 25th August 1920. So what she has to do, because the flights are not operating, and she is ready to go home.
Okay, what she needs to do if there's no flight, I will recommend, can you turn off your radio, brother? That will make things easier for me.
So where she has to go, immigration department?
Yeah, she needs to file an extension of the B1, B2 visa. The form I-539. And if you need help, give us a call. We'll handle it for her. Call us at the office, 510-742-5887. But the form she has to file is I-539 and pay the fees and do an extension.
So how much the fees is for? How much fees?
Yeah.
How much?
The fees I think is $455, but you have to double check. I'm not sure exactly, but you can check online.
But
the form is I-539.
Yeah, she's in Houston, okay? No problem?
Yeah, that's fine. You can file anywhere. And we handle cases pretty much all over the U.S. It's not a problem because it's
Thank you very much.
Federal matter. Give us a call if you need help, or she can do it on her own. You don't need a lawyer. The form is I-539, okay?
Okay, I-539. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Just to that she explained why she's staying. Okay, so thank you so much for calling. I just wanted to let you know, if in case you're calling, please lower your volume on the radio because of the delay. It kind of has an echo in the back, so please do that. But thank you so much for calling. And again, for those who are reaching the point of the I-94 is expiring, you need to file an extension because there's a big chance there's no flight is going to file either in Pakistan. And now, I don't know how much there is to it, but Europe is pretty much blocking all American citizens to enter. So we are kind of stuck now with all the beautiful nonsense that has been going on. Now everybody's paying for it, and again I do blame the politicians, especially because they've been playing politics on people's lives. This is really kind of the epitome of how to put it, the epitome of uselessness, right? Because there are so many things that they could have done, and now there's a fight just to wear a mask. I'm not pro against a mask, but I can tell you one thing. If you wear a mask, if everybody wears a mask, when they sneeze, it won't go on someone else. So I know a lot of people say, oh, I'm anti-mask and all this stuff. Well, maybe you are, but the truth is that it is mostly to protect the other person. If everybody does it, that means we end up by kind of blocking the virus, And the virus is just like a fire. It will consume itself if we don't give them a host. And that's what people don't understand. Now, the question is how bad is that virus? I have no idea. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. All I can say is that it is bad. But the problem is that it seems like many governments are worse than the virus. And they're using this as a tool to crack down on minorities, crack down on people, passing very tough immigration laws like we're having in the U.S., which truthfully can make sense, but many of them don't really make sense. Like, for example, the ban on H-1B, okay, it's for people outside, I understand, but it was already there. It was pretty much a political move from the president. Now, the thing is that what happens on the elections, we don't know. And what will happen next, we don't know either. But one thing I know for a fact is no matter what, things are not going to get easy for immigrants. But if the Democrats win, it might get easier, but things are still going to be tough. We are dealing with something which is really new, and if we have, and as you know, even California has extended, is now rethinking what happens next. Releasing people, letting people go out is not a good move in a situation where we are getting millions basically maybe dying. So I recommend that you pretty much talk to a lawyer that before you make any move leaving the U.S., or people who are stuck outside and listening to us. I know a lot of them listen because they write to me sometimes on Facebook. Just wanted to let you know, hang on there, and hopefully we can actually kind of make sure things happen, and at least we can protect you to stay here before anything, before you get yourself into more trouble by accruing unlawful presence. Now, a lot of people also, we had this conversation with Sharif, and we talk about the options of using the national interest waiver, especially if you have a previous priority date, EB1 for previous priority date, or someone who's born outside India or China. You might be able to get a green card faster than getting an H-1B. So take advantage of that. I'm talking here about people who are already in the U.S. It used to work also people outside the U.S., but right now they can still file, by the way, because it's not like they're going to close the door completely. It will reopen. By the time the case gets approved, we can process it to the consular processing. That means to the U.S. consulate or U.S. embassy, and then we move forward on getting you the green card. You come pretty much with an I-551 stamp, and then that basically means you're going to get a green card after you enter. So this is Attorney Shah Peerally, and we are live today on July 2nd, 2020. The number to the studio is still open, right, Michael? We have a few minutes. 510-657-1170. 510-657-1170. And we mentioned that we have a situation where a judge pretty much blocked all this executive order of Trump. I don't have the details of it. Hopefully that will be helpful, because some of it, I don't know if all or some of it, but now the question is that will they take that to the U.S. Supreme Court? Probably yes, but not right now. The idea was pretty much another political stunt, I believe. But let's wait and see how things are moving in the next future, because we are going to see definitely some kind of problems happening for people who are eligible for asylum. And right now, as you know, many countries of the world, for minorities, it's unlivable, right? And let's admit to that. And for those people, we can look into the asylum. But now the problem is the way the rule is written it's actually the situation of, basically, if you don't mention you are going to file for an asylum before you enter, you will never be able to file for an asylum. And this is the the judge of Colombia took down the asylum ban, and the lawsuit was brought by the Capital Area Immigrants' Rights CARE Coalition, Human Rights First Refugee and Immigrant Center, and many other civil rights organizations. And thanks to them, we are seeing that this rule might be will be not taken down, but is blocked until further notice. So now, what happens to the ban on H-1B, etc., etc.? Well, it doesn't really affect people inside the U.S., and it was already happening for people outside because there was no flight coming in anyway. So this is the situation that we're seeing. However, the additional part of the block on the non-immigrant visa is the issue of people who had a chance to go and get their stamping of their visa, and now they cannot do it. So I highly recommend that if you need help, give us a call, 510-742-5887, 510-742-5887. And also, I wanted to ask people if they need help with the immigration. Also, the debt settlement will be glad to help you. In a few minutes, I'll talk a little bit about that. So let us talk a little bit about what is going on here. And people are asking for family petitions. Can they file? Well, adjustment of status for parents, we can still file them. They might not process them right now, but you can still file them. But as for marriage petitions, it's still there. So you can still file for your spouse. But when it comes to the interview, there will be no interview soon. Another question I'm getting really a lot is when will the fingerprint places? So it is something that unfortunately we are seeing, of course, a lot of things happening on immigration, but we need to also realize that there are ways to help people. There are options out there. For example, people can shift to some kind of other visa if they lose their jobs. Because most people, even they're losing their jobs, within 2-3 months they're finding another job. Because some areas are hiring really highly, and it will continue, especially in the IT sector. So don't just give up. A lot of executives are unfortunately being blocked because their jobs are being canceled because of their high salary. However, if you are a high executive and you're making high salary and you have achieved a certain level, you should look into the EB1, and you can give us a call, 510-742-5887, 510-742-5887, and the number to the studio is 510-657-1170, 510-657-1170. The lines are going to be open for the next 10 minutes or so, probably, so feel free to call. And now let me talk a little bit about debt settlement, because that's another thing that is coming. It's really sad. We are in a situation of not only we have the COVID, people are losing their jobs. And I'm talking mostly not only about people in H-1Bs, but regular people who are U.S. citizens. What do they do next? It is one option is a bankruptcy if you lost everything. But bankruptcy has its own difficulties. You might first not qualify for it, or there's a stigma behind it. So it is important that to look into other avenues, and one of them is a debt settlement. The debt settlement is a way to pretty much get out of debt without really kind of using a bankruptcy. And one of the things that we can do on the debt settlement, we can basically negotiate the debts. For example, we can negotiate let's say you own a credit card. Let's say you owe $10,000 on a credit card. We can actually kind of negotiate it and maybe bring it to $2,000-$3,000, and they'll forgive you for the $6,000, $7,000. That's just an example, and we can do it for a huge amount. We have done it for credit card, I think up to $500,000, if I'm not mistaken. And we also can help you if your house is underwater. That means, for example, you have two loans, and it's a second loan, and the value of the house is less than what you owe. You might be able to negotiate and get rid of the loan of the second mortgage. So this is where we can come in. Feel free to reach out, 510-742-5887, 510-742-5887. The blog to check on this one is yourdebtsettlementattorney.com, yourdebtsettlementattorney.com. We have done many cases now. It's almost 10 years we've been doing that. We are in a situation where we have many issues that are facing all of us, and you don't want to be worried about money at this point. Well, because you probably will be using your credit card, and if the credit card you have to pay back. So what we are offering is negotiating what you owe and bring it down and help you. And we do a lot of those, and you can call us 510-742-5887, 510-742-5887. And also for people who really kind of need help with immigration and debt settlement, because that goes together now. A lot of people lost their job. They want to go back, at least for a few years. Excuse me. They want to go back, but at the same time, they want to make sure they have an opportunity to not have any debts, because that can come back and hurt you down the road. Now, with all the rules they have on immigration to get your green card, those debts can really become a problem. Although none of them are automatically a problem, they can become a problem. So feel free to reach out. You can call us, and the way it works for debt settlement is a contingency basis, and that's only for debt settlement. So that means whatever we win you in terms of save you, we basically charge you a percentage of that, and you have to pay only if we get you a deal. But again, don't confuse that with immigration. Immigration works different way, so the fees are different. So don't confuse it, because people get confused. Say, oh, you said that when you win, you pay, but that we cannot do for immigration, because there's no way we can really kind of guess how things are, and the amount of work is different. It involves a lot of it is different. So don't get confused on those two, because it's very important you know the difference. Now, let me go back now to immigration. Michael, I think we have another 10 minutes or so, so I will go ahead and recap, but I still can take few callers, maybe one or two. 510-657-1170, 510-657-1170. And this is Attorney Shah Peerally. We're live today on July 2nd, 2020, and we're talking about immigration and debt settlement. And like I said, we can help you with both. We have two different departments, two different teams working on each. We don't mix it because of the situation is really kind of dire right now. We are kind of in a very sad situation what we're going through. Number one, we are having the COVID. We have all those protests, and rightly so, because many of the Black Lives Matter, they are really fighting for a right cause. But at the same time, you're having all those. It is important that you understand that we are in a situation, very unique situation, right? So you need to understand that nothing is really the same now, but at the same time, the capitalist system is still running the world, and it is not, unfortunately, it is something that you need to decide on what you will do next with your life, if you want to go back to India or move to Canada, that's another option, or another country, or stay in the US and fight your case. And most people want to stay, but they need to do it legally, they need to do it right. And that's unfortunately sometimes they get confused and they don't do it right, and it will backfire. It will really kind of hurt you in the long run if you don't do the right thing. And one of the things, like I said, if you're getting out of status completely, you're not able to do a transfer, you lost your job, for example, I recommend that you file a B1, B2 visa. So now, let me talk a little bit about the visa built-in, because a lot of people have been asking me the same question, especially on EB1. EB2, it jumped a little bit, but not a lot. So let me take one call and then we'll talk about that. Right, you're live on air. Hello.
Hey, Shah. Very good morning, and thank you for picking the call. My question is, I saw an article that using the presidential order, there is a possibility that the I-79, like the green card queue, can be refreshed by kind of like putting in new LCA requirements and flushing everything. Is it even a possibility? I don't know if you saw that article.
I'm not aware. What part? I didn't hear you. What do you mean refresh? LCA? I didn't get that. Hello? Hello? I lost the caller. Very interesting. I didn't really hear what he was saying, but it seems like there is some kind of article saying a president order that the LCA can be refreshed or something like that, unless he's saying a different word. But please give me a call and we can talk at the office, 510-742-5887. At least we can check what is going on. But I'm not really aware of what's going on. But make sure whenever you're getting your information, it's from a reliable source, because a lot of people write a lot of things. But most of the time they write reliable things, but they just don't understand the implications. So it's important that we check the source. But let me know if you get that information. Give me a call back, 510-742-5887, because I think we have another 5 minutes to go, so I don't know if I'll be able to take the caller. So please feel free to reach out to us, 510-742-5887. One of the things that I really kind of mentioned earlier is using the extraordinary circumstances. We have this case of unlawful presence, the matter of Vasquez that has made a memo in 2014 for people who really kind of fall out of status. For example, Rao is back. This is Shah. Hello? I think we lost him. But again, feel free to call us, 510-742-5887, and I'll be glad to look into that memo up. So the thing that I was talking about here is a very important concept of bringing back your status, right? Many people will see a situation where basically they're already kind of out of the what we call basically for example, let's say you lost your job, and you are in a situation where you need to basically kind of, you cannot leave the country, right? You lost your job, the 60 days have passed, you have not filed the B1, B2, and now suddenly you get another job, you're supposed to do what we call a consular processing. That means the case once approved, you go to the outside, get a stamping and come back. But you can't do that because, number one, it's hard to get a flight. Number two, you won't even get a stamp because of the ban. So in this case, what you do, you use that memo I was talking about of extraordinary circumstance, and you request a non-prompton, basically a reinstatement kind of your I-94 in the case, based on the discretionary power of the USCIS. And that's one thing that many people get confused on how to do it. Is it possible or is it not possible? Feel free to reach out if you want to know, at least get a second opinion, because many lawyers don't really use that because they're not familiar with it. So we can kind of guide you to a second opinion. 510-742-5887. And Michael, I don't know how much time is left, but today we had few callers today, and feel free to reach out to us if you need help. 510-742-5887. The website peerallylaw.com, peerallylaw.com. And one thing I wanted to mention for those who are in debts, we already mentioned the debt settlement, but the other thing is, make sure you don't wait the last minute before you do anything once you lost your position. Because what happened, a lot of people, they panic, or they don't want to have a backup plan. They will just hope they will find a job. But what happens if you don't? So you need to make this backup plan and talk to a lawyer who's experienced who can guide you, because a lot of people out there and a lot of information, of course, on the famous forums or Facebook or whatever social media, but many of those are not really reliable sources. So it is important that you pretty much kind of you really kind of work on your situation and do it at an early stage. Don't just wait the last minute when things are really bad and trying to get things moving. It is important that you talk to a lawyer before you make any move or leave the country. One of the things I wanted to mention is people tend to get confused with status and period of stay. If you file a case you file the case before your I-94 expires, and during that time there's no answer from USCIS, and you pass the date of the I-94 expiring, as long as the case is pending, it usually gives you what we call a period of authorized stay. Except for F1, because they have kind of changed it and made it a little bit more tricky. You will have to file a B1, B2 while you file the F1 if you're doing an extension or a change of status. So it is important that you talk to a lawyer before you make that move. So Michael, I think now we have 1 more minute to go. I wanted to thank all our listeners for being faithful to our show. And again, in 3 days is going to be the 10th anniversary of the Shah Peerally Law Show, and I'm very, very proud of it. And I will recommend that you go back and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Shah Peerally Law, and you let us know if you need any help on anything else. And anything I'm telling you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. The number to our office, 510-742-5887. 510-742-5887. Thank you, Michael, for the wishes, and let us hope we will have another maybe 10 years coming. Like we say, inshallah, this happens, because I know this show has helped a lot of people, and I wanted to thank you all for being our faithful listeners, and I know people are listening all around the world, and for them I say special thanks. So, Michael, I think we are done. I wanted to thank you all. Take care. We'll be back next week, same time. So tune in 10 a.m. PST on Radio Zindagi, 11:70 a.m. Bay Area. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. We'll be back next week.